You keep waiting for someone to believe in you, for someone to show up and say, I see your potential. No one's coming. Nobody's waking up early to make you disciplined. Nobody's putting in the reps for you. You think someone's going to hand you the life you want. Get real. That dream isn't yours until you bleed for it, until you go to war with yourself daily. You say you want more, but how much of you are you actually betting on? How many times have you walked past the mirror and lied to your reflection, saying this is your year, but then spending another day waiting for motivation? Let me ask you, what if the only thing standing between you and everything you want is your hesitation to go all in on you? What if it's not lack of support, not lack of money, not lack of opportunity? Telling yourself you'll commit when things settle, they won't. That pressure in your chest, it's never going away until you stop playing small and bet on yourself. You're scared of failing. You should be more scared of wasting time. You want to know what kills more dreams than failure? Comfort, playing it safe. That voice in your head that says, let me just wait a little longer. Let me stack up more first. Let me make sure it's perfect. Playing it safe is the fastest way to die while your body's still breathing. Playing it safe is waking up at 50 wondering how the hell you got here, broke, bitter, and full of stories about what you almost did. You're scared to bet on yourself because you think risk means failure. No, not betting on yourself is failure. Waiting for the right moment, that's the lie you keep telling yourself so you don't have to feel pressure. Let me ask you, what has playing it safe gotten you so far? Go ahead, answer that. What's it bought you? A mediocre life? A shallow version of the vision in your head? You think being realistic is smart. It's not. It's a slow motion death sentence. Being realistic is code for I'm scared to go all in. And guess what? Nobody ever built something legendary by being realistic. You're either betting on yourself or you're betting on average. You can't serve both. You're either all in on your mission or you're lying to yourself about wanting it. And let me say this real clear. You don't get time back. You'll never get this week back, this month, this year. So if you don't bet on yourself now, what are you going to say 5 years from now when the pain of regret weighs more than the fear ever did? Don't tell me you believe in yourself if your actions say otherwise. Belief isn't what you say when you're hyped. It's what you do when it's hard, boring, uncomfortable, and lonely. Yet the bet is made at 5 a.m. when no one's watching. The bet is made when it's raining and you still run. The bet is made when you choose discipline over distraction again and again without applause. That's how you know if you really believe. So be honest. What are you actually betting on? Your actions right now. Are they screaming, I'm all in, or whispering, I'm still afraid? Because most people say they're going to win and then spend their days proving they're not, proving they're comfortable where they are, proving they'll fold when it's not convenient. The world doesn't care what you say. The world responds to your standard. And if your standard is do it when I feel like it, then stop expecting high-level results and look in the mirror. Don't blink. Have you actually earned the right to win yet? Have you built the mental and physical foundation strong enough to carry the weight of the life you say you want? You think success is hard? Try living with knowing you could have had it and you let it rot while you scrolled, slept in, or waited for motivation. Let that sink in. Every soft decision you make is a vote against your future. If you won't bet on yourself, why the hell should anyone else? That voice in your head that doubts you, it's not the enemy, it's the truth mirror. It knows you haven't done what you said you'd do. That's why you feel like fraud when you talk big. You haven't kept your promises to yourself. You broke your word to the one person that matters. You said you'd wake up early. You didn't. You said you'd lock in. You didn't. And now you wonder why you don't believe in your own potential. Self-belief isn't some fluffy affirmation. It's earned in the trenches. It's built rep by rep, sacrifice by sacrifice. You become unstoppable when you prove to yourself that you don't fold, that you can walk through fire and come out harder. Every time you choose pain over comfort, your self-trust grows. Every time you go one more round, your mind starts saying, maybe we're really built different. But if you keep letting yourself off the hook, if you keep justifying half-ass effort, you're not just delaying your results. You're training your brain to expect failure. You're rewiring yourself to expect retreat every time pressure shows up. So ask yourself, are you the kind of person that shows up no matter what? Or are you still negotiating with weakness? You want people to take you seriously? Then become someone who doesn't flinch, doesn't beg, doesn't explain, just shows up, relentless, non negotiable, a walking standard. Everyone says they want success until it's time to bleed for it. You say you're betting on yourself. Cool. Show me what you sacrificed. Because if you haven't given something up, you're not betting. You can't have the life of your dreams and keep all the distractions, all the comforts, all the easy habits. Something has to die so the next version of you can live. Success is a trade. You trade nights out for lonely grind. You trade ego for humility. You trade comfort for pain. And you keep trading until you win. And let me say this, if you're not willing to be alone, you're not ready for success, because when you truly bet on yourself, you will be alone. People won't get it. They'll doubt you. They'll laugh. They'll fall off. You're on the right path, when it gets quiet. Yeah, when no one claps, when it's just you, your goals, and the echo of your own footsteps in the dark. That's the battleground where greatness is forged. Are you willing to suffer in silence now to live loud later? Or are you chasing approval while your future starves? Let them talk, let them sleep, let them scroll. You get up, you show up, you do what the version of you with the life you want would do. That's what betting on yourself looks like. Choosing pain, silence, and sacrifice today for power, peace, and purpose tomorrow. There's a moment when something changes, when the grind stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like purpose, when the early mornings, the late nights, the pain in your chest, the silence in your room, all of it becomes fuel. That's when you flip the switch. That's when you stop chasing the result and start becoming the person who commands the result. You don't rise by hoping. You rise by locking in so hard, the world has no choice but to move around your energy. And let me tell you this, when you go all in, when the work becomes who you are, the world will bend. The universe responds to commitment, but only full commitment. Not this halfway energy, not try it for a week and see what happens. Number, you do it like it's oxygen, like there's no backup plan. It wasn't hiding. It was waiting for you to bet on yourself like your life depended on it. You ever seen someone so locked in that nothing phases them? That's not luck. That's not magic. That's discipline over years. That's sacrifice over comfort. That's a mind that decided to become unshakable. So who are you becoming right now? A champion or another excuse in the system? You want results? Stop begging for them. Start becoming someone who earns them in silence and collects them in dominance. You stayed in the dark long enough. You trained when no one clapped. You built in silence. You bet on yourself when no one else even watched. And then, boom, the results come. Not a trickle, not a whisper, a flood. Like a damn wave of water crashing down, like bees swarming in after one stinger hit, like lightning striking the same place because you wouldn't move. That's how success shows up when you've been grinding with no reward. It hits all at once. Suddenly, your bank account starts moving. Your body looks like it belongs in a movie. People you looked up to are asking you for advice. And you stand there in the mirror and not surprised because you earned this. You suffered for this. Gave up comfort, distraction, softness, and silence for this moment. This wasn't luck. This was war, and you never tapped out. Let me ask you straight. When that flood hits, will you be ready to receive it, or will you be too stuck in your old ways to even recognize the reward? Because most people never last long enough to feel that wave. They quit in the drought. They walk away in the silence. But you stay, you fight, you bleed, and then you reign. And the most powerful part, you'll look around and realize it was never about the money, never about the cars. It was about becoming the version of you that could even handle it. You got a little bit of success? Good. Now, don't get soft. Don't you dare let up just because the pressure dropped. The world loves watching people rise so it can watch them fall. And most do. Why? Because they confuse the win with the finish line. They think one moment of success means they've arrived. But let me be clear, real dogs don't celebrate. They reload. Stay hungry after the check clears. Stay locked in when people finally start clapping. That's what separates monsters from moments. You're not here to be a trend. You're here to be a legacy, and legacies are built on routines, not rewards. Ask yourself, can you still train when you've got the car? Can you still wake up early when your bills are paid? Can you still say no to the party when you've got nothing left to prove except to yourself? You know, a threat to every excuse, every weakness, every average version of yourself that still tries to pull you back. And this is where your discipline becomes your identity. You don't need motivation. You move because that's just who you are now. The old you is gone. The lazy you, dead. The second guessing, soft, hesitant version of you, buried. What stands here now is someone forged in sacrifice, unshakable, untouchable, undeniable. You didn't just win. You became the kind of person who wins no matter what. Let me warn you now, the higher you climb, the quieter it gets. The grind separates you, it isolates you, it cuts ties with people who used to feel familiar. You're going to be misunderstood, left out, doubted, and becoming someone great requires walking through silence that would make most people lose their minds. People don't get it because they're not built for this. They chase noise. They need company. They're addicted to approval. But you're learning to walk alone and still keep moving. And in that solitude, in that uncomfortable quiet, you'll hear something most people never hear, your purpose. You've been so conditioned to fear loneliness, but what if it's the only place you ever truly meet yourself? What if the silence isn't a void but a mirror? What if the space between you and the world is actually your preparation to impact the world? And this is where you change. This is where you drop the victim. This is where you bury the version of yourself that needed handholding. Because the people you look up to, the ones who broke generational curses, changed industries, built legacies, they all had to walk through this exact chapter. And let me make this clear. You don't get to become elite without going through hell alone, but you won't regret the silence. You won't regret the sacrifice. You'll only regret the distractions you let detour your destiny. This is it. This is the line in the sand. You're either going to step over it and finally become who you were meant to be, or you're going to sit in the same spot. No one's going to fight for your goals like you will if you actually believe you're worth betting on. You've got one shot at this life, and it ain't long. Years will pass fast. People will move on. Time will not wait for you to get ready. And deep down, you already know that. You've been feeling it, that frustration, that restlessness, that quiet, knowing that you're capable of more. That's not anxiety. That's the voice of your future self begging you to wake up. And so here's the truth. You already have everything you need. You have breath in your lungs, pain in your story, fire in your gut. You don't need more motivation. You need to make a decision. Bet on yourself, not halfway, not if it's easy, not if you get support, all in right now. Because the only thing more painful than doing the work is waking up one day and realizing you never became the person you knew you could have been. Be that person now and never look back.